Nigerian militants have attacked yet another pipeline in the oil-rich country. It comes amidst the heaviest fighting there in 2 years. The militants have cut Nigeria's oil output by more than 20% since they began a campaign of violence 2 years ago.
Oil has been a burning issue in the Niger Delta since its discovery more than half a century ago. Resentment towards foreign-owned oil companies, accruing billions of dollars a year, has simmered for years as people living in this energy-rich region remain ensnared in poverty, hobbled by the legacy of decades of economic mismanagement and military rule. Now it's exploded into what one militant group is calling an oil war. In the last 4 days, this ragtag army has attacked oil interests throughout the Niger Delta, heaping further pressure on Nigeria's oil output, which has been cut by more than 20% since militant violence began 2 years ago. In the latest attacks, the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta, or MEND, says it's blown up a flow station belonging to Shell. The escalating violence has prompted Shell to evacuate some of its staff. Militants claim to be holding 27 oil workers who were kidnapped last week after their oil supply vessel was hijacked. Despite being outgunned, these men say they'll never give up until they win a stake in Nigeria's vast oil wealth.
We are not mass murderers. So the method used by Al-Qaeda cannot be used by us. Because we cannot also suicide bombing. Then we street bomb, then we go to the marketplace or go to somewhere, the guilty one will die, the innocent one will die. The blood of the innocent, according to your belief, will cry and fight you in the spiritual realm. Our battle first is in the spiritual realm. Look, I fought the Nigerian state for 12 months. I lost only 3 people.
It's a village funeral and the gang's in town. The motorcycle boys belong to an outlaw militia called the Niger Delta People's Volunteer Force. It's one of many gangs waging a violent battle for a slice of the region's oil wealth. Their leader has threatened to take the fight all the way to the capital, Abuja.
We own the oil. The thieves are the people in Abuja, not the other way around. A thief cannot come into my house, take my property, sit down because it's strong, and then turn back to say, oh, this is the actual thief. So that is it.
His gang has come to the village of Odagari to pay their respects. The boat-shaped coffin contains a villager killed in their recent battle with the Nigerian army. It's supposed to be a time of peace and they're supposed to have disarmed. But they brought assault rifles, handguns and machetes, mixed with a heavy dose of drugs and alcohol. In villages across the Niger Delta, this is the brutal legacy of an oil industry that was supposed to save the nation.
Members of the Niger Delta Vigilante Force appear undoubted in their determination to cripple the nation's oil sector, particularly at its affect operations in the river states. leader of the group, Tom Ateke, said he will only shift ground to appear and testify before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission on condition.
They know that I will not come. I know it's a trap for me, so I can't fall such a trap. Let them come to my camp. If they want me to testify, they should come.
According to him, if the military joint task force had not woken the sleeping lion, the current uprising would have been avoided.
Guided us to their camp. In a heavily fortified compound, we found dozens of fighters for the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, known as MEND, armed to the teeth. They say they want the billions of dollars the Nigerian government makes from oil exports redistributed to communities in the region, branding their calls with the slogan, justice and equity.
You came on a boat. You saw with your own eyes. You saw the villages and whatever. Was there lights like power? No. No schools? No first aid dispensaries and whatever. Nothing. You'll be able to tell if it's an animal or a human being.
He then proceeded to show us stockpiles of new equipment they boasted will be used in overnight attacks on the installations of foreign oil companies. The Nigerian government claimed to have crushed MEND. These images appear to suggest the opposite. We were then allowed to walk freely around the camp for 10 minutes. This camp for MEND fighters is under construction, but it can be dismantled within about 3 hours and they can move to a new location entirely. Fighters are constantly on the move, and their anger and frustration is palpable.
90% of this well belongs to us. You can see somebody from nowhere will come and start owning an oil well, whatever, in my own backyard. And me, I'm living here. This is my house. This is the oil well here. I don't even have a cup of oil. How do you justify that?
Today, October 3rd, 2009, I, Yar'Adua, overall field commander for the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta MEND, accept together with field commanders in River State the presidential offer of amnesty to militants which will lay down their weapons.
I and my people, we accept the amnesty offer.
The arms have been surrendered.
Today, 4th October, year of our Lord, 2009, will mark the beginning of the development the Niger Delta region.
The promises have been made, and now the challenge to silence the guns permanently in the Niger Delta region is just beginning. It's a challenge successive governments have tried but failed to overcome. It's a challenge this president has committed to confront. It's the challenge of the development of the Niger Delta. October 4th, 2009. Dateline, Oporosa, headquarters of Baramat Kingdom. It's just a few hours to the expiration of the president's amnesty for militants in the Niger Delta. Having embraced the amnesty deal the previous day, the most dreaded militant in the region, Tompolo, chose to turn in his arms.
You can see she's coming. We do hope that the government and our fathers in government will play their part so that posterity will not find us wanting.
Virtually all the ex-militants in the region echoed the same message when they were laying down their arms. The good news is the government has always known this, but the bad news is that it has always failed to match words with action. Though the government has not yet released any comprehensive post-amnesty plan, it has its job already cut out for it in the area who are jobless, especially those who have just laid down their arms. The government says it intends to send those who wish to school and provide skill acquisition training for others. But recent protests by some of the boys over unpaid allowances for the amnesty program is now raising serious concerns whether the majority of the boys actually buy into the idea of schooling or skill acquisition. Perhaps when all of that has been taken care of, then will the government begin to find answers as to how all the huge cache of arms and ammunition turned in by the former militants found their way into a country that is not at war,
Already the situation is giving some highly placed government officials like the Rivers State Governor a cause for concern.
My reaction was that what were we doing? How did we get here? What was the security doing that they could let this kind of weapons enter into the country unnoticed?